Welcome to the Fitness Simplified podcast. I'm Brooke Davis, women's functional nutritionist and fitness specialist with Elysian Women's Wellness, and I'm here to simplify your fitness.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Fitness Simplified podcast. My name is Brooke Davis, women's functional nutritionist and fitness specialist with Elysian Women's Wellness. Today, we are diving into one of the most misunderstood topics in women's health, and that is perimenopause and menopause. There is so much misinformation and really just no information up until really recently on this topic. And it can be really hard to separate fact from fiction and what's right, what's not. So today we are going to bust the top 5 myths about this phase of life. Whether you are experiencing symptoms already, approaching menopause, or just curious of what you can expect when you get there, this episode is going to be loaded with insights to help you better understand what's really happening in your body. So let's get started. First of all, if you're not super familiar with what perimenopause and menopause actually are, a very brief explanation is that the function of your ovaries' ability to produce sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone are declining and will ultimately stop. Before they decline and stop producing completely, though, we experience this roller coaster of your body pushing the signal to produce more, and then not being able to. And so we get these big surges and drops of these hormones that cause a lot of downstream impacts and symptoms that can be really difficult and very unfamiliar to navigate, ranging from hot flashes, vaginal changes, mood changes, musculoskeletal symptoms like aches, pains, and even frozen shoulder, brain fog, and so much more. It's a pretty long list of symptoms due to the fact that these hormones do a lot more than just make us able to have children. So perimenopause is technically the 10 years or so prior to the complete stopping of a period in which the symptoms often start. And then menopause officially starts at the 1-year mark of having no cycle. So you don't officially hit menopause until you haven't had a cycle for 12 months. Anything past that day is postmenopause. So there you have it. Let's get into the myths. Myth number 1 is that menopause only affects older women. You have to be 50 or 60. When in reality, perimenopause can actually begin in women as early as their late 30s or 40s. Some women might start experiencing symptoms well before reaching their 50s. Right now, we're actually seeing earlier and earlier onset of perimenopause. So why are we seeing the shift toward earlier onset? Several factors play a role. Chronic stress, environmental toxins, poor diet, lack of sleep can all disrupt hormonal balance and trigger early perimenopause. So hormones like estrogen and progesterone are really sensitive to these lifestyle factors. And I feel like the load in which women specifically have, but just overall in this world, is only increasing by the day. So to support your body and prolong optimal hormone production, here are some strategies. And number 1 is managing stress. So chronic stress raises cortisol, which can deplete your sex hormones over time. So having things like meditation, yoga, even just daily walks or spending a few minutes to focus on your breath can be really beneficial. Optimizing nutrition, of course, focusing on whole nutrient-dense foods, omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, fiber, all are going to support hormone production and balance. If you need more on that, we have a whole episode on nutrition and perimenopause. And then sleep. So sleep is absolutely crucial for hormone regulation. Prioritizing really 7 to 9 hours of sleep for women, and this is restorative sleep, can be ideal. I know that can be really difficult to do in perimenopause, but we also have a whole episode on that. So make sure to go give it a listen if that's something that you are specifically struggling with. And then exercising wisely. And of course, we have a whole episode on this as well, but making sure that you include a balance of strength training, cardio, and restorative activities. That is going to support your metabolism and your hormone health without overloading your system. And then limiting environmental toxins. So exposure to EDCs or endocrine disrupting chemicals like found in plastics, personal care products, cleaning supplies, things like that can throw off your hormonal balance. We have a toxin-free living guide if you are interested in learning more about that. But trying to switch to more natural alternatives, things like glassware, drinking filtered water, not using nonstick pans. Those are all things that can be done to reduce your environmental toxins. Even just by making small adjustments in all of these areas, you really can help support your body through this time and maintain optimal hormone production longer. Myth number 2 is that all women experience severe symptoms and hot flashes. You're not in menopause if you don't have, or you're not in perimenopause if you're not having hot flashes. The reality of it is that perimenopause and menopause symptoms vary widely. Some women might have super intense hot flashes, mood swings, sleep disruptions. Others might have mild symptoms or none at all. One key factor in symptom severity is actually adrenal health. So the adrenal glands take over some hormone production as the ovaries slow down. So if your adrenals are already taxed by chronic stress or lifestyle habits, your symptoms are likely going to be worse. So supporting your adrenals and minimizing symptoms, a lot of the same things. So one is managing stress, and number 2 is nourishing the adrenals. So nutrient dense foods, high B vitamins, magnesium, vitamin C, things like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, citrus fruit, all fabulous for the adrenals. And then balanced blood sugars. Adrenal glands respond to blood sugar fluctuations. So making sure to eat balanced meals with a protein, fat, and a fiber at each meal can help stabilize your blood sugar and reduce overall stress on the body, but especially the adrenals. And then rest and recovery, exercising too much, doing too much high intensity exercise, not prioritizing your sleep, that all taxes the adrenals. So making sure that you are prioritizing that. And then limiting your stimulants. So caffeine, sugar, alcohol, those can all overstimulate the adrenals, worsening your symptoms. So try to limit your intake, if not, get them out of your life completely and focus on more natural remedies for energy production. And myth number 3, you can't get pregnant during perimenopause. Not true. So for better or worse, this is a really common misconception. As long as you are still ovulating, even if it's irregular, there's still a chance that you can get pregnant. So during perimenopause, ovulation becomes unpredictable, but it doesn't completely stop right away. Because of this unpredictability, if you want to avoid pregnancies, you need to make sure you are still using contraception until your menopause is fully confirmed. So that means, like I said, 12 months without any cycle. And then you could also get your FSH tested to see if you are above 25, at least for ideally a couple of months to really confirm that, especially if you haven't had a cycle for 12 months. Because even though your likelihood of conceiving declines, it is still there. So if you're trying to conceive during perimenopause, a couple ways you can support your fertility and increase your chances of that are to track your ovulation. Since ovulation cycles in general are irregular, using ovulation predictor kits can help you find that fertile window. And then nutrition, of course, making sure that you are eating enough whole nutrient-dense foods, antioxidant-rich foods, omega-3 fatty acids, like your fatty fish and flax seeds, hemp seeds, things like that. And then vitamins, of course, and minerals getting from leafy greens, nuts, and then fish. Maintaining a healthy weight. So being either underweight or overweight can both affect your hormone balance and ovulation. So finding a healthy middle ground. And then, of course, managing your stress. So supporting overall health and really just being proactive about monitoring your ovulation can help increase your chances of conceiving during perimenopause if that's your goal. And number 4, that weight gain is inevitable. The truth is that while hormonal changes during perimenopause and menopause can definitely impact your metabolism and fat distribution, weight gain isn't a absolute going to happen. Here is how you can manage it. So number 1 is prioritize strength training. Muscle mass declines with age, which slows your metabolism, and strength training helps preserve that, builds your muscle, keeps your metabolism high. Balanced nutrition. Focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods, lean proteins, vegetables, healthy fats, stabilize your blood sugars, support hormone health, all that good stuff. As far as exercise goes, I also have an entire podcast on the best kinds of exercise for perimenopause and menopause. And then I'm also going to be coming out with a program design, which really goes in depth in how to create a specific plan. So stay tuned. And then portion sizes. So as your metabolism slows, if you notice that your middle is growing and you're maybe not adjusting to go with it, adjust your portion size. Eat mindfully, right? You can help manage calorie intake if you're not tracking your food and that kind of thing. And then increasing your daily movement. Yes, the metabolism does adjust slightly during perimenopause because of hormones, but what happens more than that is that our daily movement decreases because energy is low, sleep is not great. And so we automatically just don't move as much. Our body's trying to preserve that energy, and that then decreases the amount of calories that people are burning throughout the day. So beyond formal workouts, daily walking, gardening, housework, things like that actually helps you burn more calories. And that is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or your NEAT. And that burns almost 3 to 4 times as many calories as your actual workout. And then, of course, focusing on sleep. Poor sleep disrupts your hunger hormones, can increase cravings, all of those things. So 7 to 9 hours. And then managing stress. Of course, staying hydrated, because sometimes thirst can actually be mistaken for hunger. It can help reduce unnecessary snacking and really just support overall health, your detoxification pathways, all the things. So with this holistic kind of proactive approach, nutrition, exercise, stress management, it is definitely doable to maintain a healthy weight through perimenopause and stress. And then number 5, hormone replacement is dangerous for everyone. This could not be further from the truth. HRT can be safe and effective for many women when it's prescribed appropriately. So the decision to use HRT should obviously always be based on individual health, discussed with your healthcare provider. But this is a very nuanced topic. For a lot of women, HRT is safe. It's a very effective way to manage perimenopause, menopause symptoms, with studies showing that it can even reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease when it's started early, mostly for women under 60 and within 10 years of menopause. HRT might not be suitable for women with certain conditions like breast cancer, blood clots, liver disease, but there are even ways around that using different types of hormones. So, of course, super important to have a very individualized conversation with your healthcare provider, and maybe even finding somebody who specializes in it, because a lot of healthcare providers simply aren't educated on the topic and they're not comfortable doing it. So I actually have a podcast coming up on hormone replacement therapy, benefits, risks, types of therapies, things like that, who might be a good candidate. Newer studies that have come out in order to debunk the one that told everybody that HRT is going to kill you, essentially. Make sure you're subscribed to stay tuned for that. And that's it. Super short and sweet today, but I hope that was insightful and maybe gives you some direction to go on further supporting your body through this transition, and dive into some other podcasts a little bit deeper, and stay tuned for more.
If you have any questions, suggestions for future topics, or just want to chat, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Brooke_Elysian and Facebook linked in the show notes, or via our website, ElysianWomen'sWellness.com. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, we'd be thrilled if you could take a half second to leave us a 5-star review. Not only will you be helping others find our show, but you'll also be entered into our monthly $100 giveaway for no reviews. New episodes drop every Monday, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. Thanks for listening. See you soon.